guys, but it is what it is. I got to make a living. Okay. So my name's Ken Finnan, and my job is to get you past all the exams. And the number one question I get before I do my live, so I'm hoping to save some time and make it less chaotic, is what do I do? I'm taking the test tomorrow or 2 weeks or whatever it is. So let's, first of all, if you're taking it tomorrow, too late, you're fucked. Okay. No, I'm kidding around. Get some sleep. If you're taking it tomorrow, you should not be on my live. You should be getting sleep and you should be going over customer accounts. Literally any exam you take, literally any exam, you should probably read customer accounts. I have crash course videos you can watch, playlists you can watch. Go watch those and get some sleep. If you have a significant other, make sure they do the right thing or ask them to do the right thing. And you don't want to make them do anything, but you ask them. Just massage. That's all I'm talking about. Just keep you relaxed. No fighting, stuff like that. Now, if you're taking it beyond tomorrow, so if you're taking it tomorrow, what are you doing out here? Get off here, click and get out of here. If you're taking it beyond tomorrow, so let's say you're taking it in 2 days. Tomorrow is no testing. It's adding knowledge, reading customer accounts, going over videos, hopefully my crash course videos or others. Bottom line is you don't want to stress yourself out. You don't want to take a test. I'm not a fan of testing. Some people like it. I disagree with it because if you go bad, there's no upside. If it goes bad for you, you're screwed. So I say, don't take a test tomorrow. Take it easy. Around dinner time, you're done. I don't care if you're taking the test at 5 o'clock at night. At dinner time, you're done. Okay? Don't do anything. Again, the night before is always kind of go out to dinner. Don't go, pounding, going fireballs, but just literally go out to dinner, maybe talk to people who aren't involved in it, who don't care about the test, don't want to hear it. You want to do stuff that just relax you. If you have SDC or Notman, they have these little sheets that you can go through. Maybe the day before, make sure you go over it like hot sheets or key topic stuff or crunch time facts. Again, I have crash course playlists, a whole playlist on almost every test you can take. Now, let's say you're taking it more than 2 days out. So what you want to do is within the up to, but not including the last, I don't even know if that's right. The last 8 to 10 days is testing. Okay. Before that, you're reading and quizzing and testing, all that. A lot of focus on reading, mostly focus on reading, watching videos, adding knowledge. But in the last 8 days, not including the day before, so whatever that is, so 10 days before, you're going to take tests every day. One test, not two. If it's a 63 of the SIE, maybe you can take two. But again, I don't think it works so well. Oh, I feel the heat on my back. I really just want to turn around and take a dive. The problem is when I go in there, there's a manatee warning. The boats have to go around me. I have to wear a flag saying manatee, don't hit me, stuff like that. Now, up to but not including the day before the test, you are to take one final a day. Now, remember something. When you do a final, review the whole thing, not just the wrong answers. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of do a triage. There's really 3 or 4 choices. You look them over. If you got it right for the right reason, you're good. Move on. Make sure you read the answer why, okay? 2, if you got it right for the wrong reason, mark that down. You have to review it because if you got it right because you guessed, that's just as bad as a wrong. Almost more dangerous, right? Because you think you got it. 2, if you got it wrong because you misread it, which happens with the Kaplan, Past Perfect, STC, even Achievable, all of them, you can misread it. If you get it wrong because you misread it, but you knew the concept, don't worry about it. The last one is you got it wrong because you didn't know your shit. That you have to review. So really, you're going to have 4 choices, mark them all. And then if you got it right for the right reason or wrong because you misread it, but you understand the concept, don't worry about it. The ones you have to review are the ones you got right for the right reason. And then the ones you got for the wrong reason, the ones you got for the wrong reason. See, when I talk too fast, my brain is here, my mouth is here, and they're not in conjunction. And then ones you got right for the wrong reason, like guessing, and then you got to be honest with yourself. Don't be like, oh, I think I know it. Or the ones you got wrong for the right reason. I guess the right reason to be wrong, you don't know it. If you're starting to memorize questions, buy another QBank. STCS 4 supplemental exams. If you want, buy Kaplan. But again, you don't want to add a new QBank in the last few days. You want to do it out so you can literally get used to the question because you don't want to switch it up the day before. Again, you need to go in there like a badass. You need to go into the test like I'm going to fucking own this shit and you're going to run it, okay? You got to go in there confident. You got to understand that if you go in there confident, if you go into this test as a confident badass, not cocky, confident, I know my shit, then when you see a hard question, you're going to go, oh, I can do this, okay? And you can work through it or even mark for review, shit like that. If you go in there where you're not sure and you're like, oh, I'm afraid, then every hard question is going to look to you like, see, I knew I should have waited. And that's a bad thing because you won't try it. I've seen that so many times where if you give someone positive confirmation of good work, they're willing to work a little bit harder on the question. if you're like, oh, I'm not ready, they go, oh, I knew I wasn't ready. They give up. We don't want give up. We want you to attack it like you know your shit. Okay. And that's literally it. You maybe want to watch some of my exam walkthrough videos during my live, but not the night before. I don't want to see you the night before. I want to see you after you pass so we can play a song for you and blow it out your ass. Okay. Good. Okay. Everyone, go beat this thing. You got this. I believe in you. I 100% believe in you. And you need to say every morning, get up in the morning, brush your teeth with your offhand, even if you want to brush your teeth with your foot, and keep saying, I'm going to pass this. I'm going to pass it. Say it like 10 times with confidence. Not I need to pass it. Not I gotta pass it. I'm going to pass it. That's your goal. Go beat this thing. We got it, baby.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Hey, there we are. Okay. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome on for my second favorite night of the week. Tuesday I love, and Thursdays is my distant second. Okay. Happy Thursday. Get ready for the weekend. Tomorrow, one day. We can all get through one day, right? That's the way it goes. Hold on, let me fix this so I am not that close to the camera. We don't need to be that. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. So, I see some good comments on here. We're going to go over them. Couple of things we want to bring up. Hold on. Here we go. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey.
There we go. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let's go back to this. Let's have the fun one. So I sound like I'm a professional. So you can probably hear me better now, right? Oh, eating the. Okay, now we got to get you a better camera now too.
Well, no, I'm fine. I'm on a different camera, but
got it. You look faded, like you need to get on the
sun. I know. I need to switch it up. Hang on a second.
No, it's fine. Okay. While we're talking, so listen, the couple of things. If you guys are having trouble, oh look, Alakuni, we will get to you. That's interesting. We're starting to do that now. Couple things we're going to talk about before we get started. First, a lot of free stuff out there. Tons of free stuff. My channel, Susie Rhodes, a past master, Basic Wisdom, Brandon Ritt, the guy who wrote for Achievable, and then the Facebook group we got, which is awesome. It's always, I mean, it's so busy. I can't even keep up with watching it. It's like totally homegrown. I post like once a day on it, but everyone's posting like crazy on it and helping each other out. And like I keep saying, the big thing about this group isn't that we celebrate the wins, which there's a shitload of them. It's that we help you when you miss. And that's where the people need the help. Look, when you win, yeah, you already know you fucking won. You don't need us going, and I'll do it here. You get the snaps and all that, and it's great and it's fun. But it's when you miss, you need somebody to hold you up, and that's what we're here for. Okay. If you need extra help, obviously Jeff has he can do the custom study plan. He gets you through that. He's really good at it. We're getting a lot of good referrals from it. People coming back, doing it more than once because they really like how he's helping them out. He's empathetic, unlike me, so it works. Also, we have 4 tutors now. 4 tutors when we're working on a 5th. We may even add other licenses in there at some point. So we now have 2 tutors that will do the 7 and the NASAA exams, which is great. Also, if you're bored and your Friday nights or you're bored on a Friday night, you don't want to go out drinking, we have a membership for mere, and it's only for now. It is going up in August, so I'm warning everyone. But everyone here should be done by then. We are we meet at 6 p.m. Eastern because Eastern's the only time zone that counts. We know that. We meet at 6 p.m. Eastern every Friday night, and it's only for the NASA stuff. The FINRA stuff is at 7 and 8, but this is NASA night, baby, right? This is NASA night. So we meet at 6 p.m. and we have a good group. It's like 10 to 15 people, and it's a high rotation because everyone's passing. Okay. Now, let's get into some stuff. Anything you want to add, Jeffrey?
No, I think that's it. Happy to help anybody if you have any questions. Let me put my
put your email
address across the bottom. There it goes. And let me know if you need any help with picking a tutor, questions in general, Setting
up a study plan, keeping you accountable,
anything.
all that stuff, right?
Depending on where you are in your journey, just hit me up and I can help you.
Good. So one thing before I get started, did you see? I just put out a video. It was all over. I put over. You see what Goldman's doing now?
No.
So JP Morgan had the thing that private equity firms, they'll do like a forward contract where they'll
I know the article you're talking about now.
Okay. So first of all, JP Morgan had when you work in investment banking, a lot of times and Olakune, that could be Olakunle, that could be you at some point. When you start working at a firm for investment banking, a lot of times the private equity firms, venture capitalists will hire you ahead of time. You will get an offer. You're working there for 12 months, 6 months, 12 months, and they give you an offer for 2 years down the road. And so JP Morgan had now, because they've been spending money and people have been jumping early, they had a rule that if you accept an offer, now they know it's a thing. So in the first 18 months, if you accept a future dated offer, you're fired. They just did that like a month ago. Then Goldman, I think yesterday or the day before, came out with a new one, which is great. I just did a video on it. It's actually on the YouTube channel and TikTok, my TikTok and my Instagram. My YouTube one's better. I added a little thing to it. They have to do quarterly loyalty pledges. So every quarter they have to promise that they have not accepted an offer. Gear Grinder, I appreciate it. I do. I like the mic. Okay. I feel like I'm servicing it, but that's okay. So now the whole point is they have every quarter they have to be like, I do solemnly swear that I have not taken an offer from a PE firm. So,
it's crazy.
So you'll see more. I bet you a lot of the firms will do it. I mean, I always thought it was weird. It was like, how can you accept an offer when you're working somewhere? But I mean, whatever.
But they're talking about for the future.
Yeah. It's like 2 years down the road.
So, but they're saying it's based on future dated offers.
Yeah. So no, this is what happens. So say I start working today at Goldman today. Oh, let's say JP Morgan, because they killed it. And I'm 6 months in, I start talking to people, I'm working with them, and a PE firm will give me an offer, say pay you $200,000 a year in 2028.
How did somebody give a future dated
So they give you an offer and they say your start date's March 1st, 2028. And it's common practice. I did not know that was common practice.
That's crazy.
Right. Yeah. Crazy. I'm getting a lot of comments on the mic. Okay, so.
Well, you look and sound very podcast.
I know that's what somebody said, but watch, here's what happens. If I go back here, you can barely hear me, right?
I know.
It's amazing. So it's like I literally have to be like this all the time. That's why I put the cushion on it. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're going to get you in. I had the Yeti for a while, but it broke. I think it just stopped working. It got sick of my voice. But anyway, so back to that. So that's interesting, guys. So if you ever get that, know that don't take an offer from another firm ahead of time. But it's a cool little practice. Okay. Now look who passed, baby. Your Spark car. I wish I had thought of that. I should have done it. I should have put I could have put a Cars song on here. Like, from the Cars. Okay. Probably half the people on here go, who the hell are Cars?
If Spark Cars is a car review person, he'd probably enjoy a MagnaFlow exhaust on the back of
oh, there you go.
V8. So
I have no idea what the hell that is, but that's okay.
I think he'd probably prefer no cats and a straight back exhaust. So he'll know what I'm talking about.
Wake up! Grab brush and put a little makeup. I just have to fade away the shake-up. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table?
That is awesome, Spark Car, baby. 1 down, 2 down, 1 to go, baby. Got the 366. Keep it up. Keep the grind going. Okay. Couple people nailed it. Okay. The 7%. Yeah, that's only 7% pass. No, okay. Hold on. Gil, baby. That is awesome. Taking the 65 next week. I had a girl, Kalina, who took the 63. She missed the 66. She took the 63 like 3-4 days later and then banged out the 65 the following week. And so instead of waiting 30 days, we got her done, baby. Get her done. That's awesome. So, Gil, this one's for you.
I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
I feel like I'm at a baseball game. Okay, that's awesome. Okay. Now, let's get into some stuff. Okay. Rick Hahn. Oh, and it's the night before. Okay. Okay. Yeah, baby. Listen, conquer this bitch. Okay. Your scores are great. If you're between two different vendors, you're in the high 70s, you're ready. So what am I going to say to you? Get the fuck off my live, baby. Get the fuck off my live. Okay. Got to get off that shit. Just don't. You gotta you can't be on here. Get some sleep, baby. Go relax. Do something to relax yourself. Okay. Whatever that is. Okay. But you're ready. You are ready, Rick. Okay. Sounds like I want to see Rick Vaughn. You know what Rick Vaughn's from?
What's that?
You know Rick Vaughn? You know who that is?
Oh, from
Wow.
the movie.
Wow thing. You make
Yeah.
Okay. They just saw clips on that, and it was I just watched it, and one of the the new thing on Instagram is like 20 facts you didn't know. So Wesley Snipes had no baseball skills, but I didn't know that Charlie Sheen got a scholarship offer to like University of Kansas. He didn't go. So when he practiced, he was chucking in the 80s. But there are rumors of performance enhancing drugs before that. Okay. Okay. Yes. I'll call them. I'm going to get you in 1 second. Oh, that's awesome. How to purchase 66? First of all, let me give you a little quick one. Is this a good one? I don't know. There, baby. Okay. I love that one. So the 66, your advice, read the fucking book. Every test. Everyone goes, what's your advice for the next test? Same fucking thing. Read the book. Read the book first. Get through the whole thing. Don't worry about quizzes. Don't worry about notes. Just read the book. Then go back and take quizzes. Okay. Now back to you. Ola, I don't know how to say your name. I'm gonna call you the Ola. Okay. So now, or okay, I'll call you okay. That may work. Okay. Now, we do have a playlist for the 79. We're building it. It's not as expansive as what do you call it? As my 7 and NASAA and 66, which are just outstanding video playlists. But we're working on it. We're building it. We have a collaboration with Notman, but I also have a new Series 79 tutor who's doing some videos for me. He's already done 2. He's going to work on a few more. So we're going to start having him do some of that stuff. But okay, I hope that you're using Notman marks. Understand, STC's fine, but Notman marks is the best for the 79. It really is. That's what you have to keep in mind, that Notman marks is absolutely the best for the 79. If you don't have it, it's worth spending the money. And I think I have a discount code somewhere, but even if you don't, if you already have Notman, that's great. If not, please get it. They do a great job. Their videos are good. They really went out of their way to make sure they own that. And that was very smart because that helped them nail a lot of the analyst class. And the 2 or 3 analyst class that I teach, a couple of them have the 79. I sent them over to that too. So, okay. Okay. Now, I appreciate Alexa, Gear Grinder. I appreciate it. Boom. Okay. Yeah. Bloodletting. No, they're locking him in, baby. That's always the case, that the bulge brackets, they lose them to the PE firms, but now they're just trying to keep them. Okay. Okay, Brianna, I'm going to come up to your question in a second. Now, I'm only 6 minutes behind. That's pretty good. Thursdays are always weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Even with my stupid story about other shit, I'm only 6 minutes behind. Okay.
But you're entertaining.
Yeah, I guess so. Trying. Okay. Any suitability cheat sheet ideas? Okay, so no. But if you go to my Series 7 playlist, I have a 2 suitability videos that will help you a lot. I have a Kaplan. I don't know if it's Kaplan. I have a suitability workbook, but the problem is it's for the 7, so it's a little much for the 65. But if you go into my Series 7 crash course playlist, and there's 2 suitability videos in there that will really help you out. Also, watch my Gorilla Style, because there's a lot of overlap from that. So it's worth a shot. Gil, we're going to get it. Okay. Okay, Brianna. Okay. Take it on Saturday. So you don't need time to focus now. Tomorrow's about adding knowledge. Okay. So a couple things. As far as the lending goes, here's why it gets confusing. Because you probably took the 7. You took the 7 a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and you were allowed to lend to family members and all that shit. So that's gone. So under the state rules, IARs and broker agents are not allowed to lend to any customers unless it's an affiliate of the firm, which means they work for the firm, or a lending institution. No family, no friend. Remember, if they're not customers, you do whatever the hell you want. But if they're customers, family doesn't work. And I know that's the confusing part because SDC mistakenly says that they can. And the only reason I know that I'm right on this, because sometimes I do these deep rabbit hole dives, and I found a letter, an open letter from NASA to FINRA saying we don't allow reps or agents or IARs to lend to their customers unless they're affiliates or they are a lending institution. They're in the business of lending. We don't think you should allow the exceptions for the family and stuff, which I don't get. I mean, literally, every family member lends money to each other. I mean, that happens, parents to kids and kids. So blocking that is just dumb. But NASA has a rule that you can't lend to even family members or best friends or anything else unless they're not customers or they're a lending institution. That's kind of it. So I would say it's pretty straightforward, but it's confusing because FINRA has different rules. And I always tried to figure out how do they enforce that then? I mean, are you okay on FINRA level, but not on NASA? I don't know who supersedes who. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit, Brianna. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Focus thing. So now, if you're okay on time, I'm a big fan of taking breaks every like 40 questions. Now, remember, you can't. If you're running out of time, if you're running late, you can't do this, obviously. But if you can, get up, put your hand, like before you start, like around question 39, 38, 39, put your hand up and say, I need a break, blah, blah, blah. They'll give you shit, but whatever. You're allowed to do it. The clock still runs, but it's worth getting up, throwing water on your face, go to the bathroom, something like that. I think it'll help break up the monotony. And this way it becomes basically 2.5 40-question tests, right? And this way you're like, okay, I got it. And you get a break and it sets you up. Now, if time is an issue and you don't have the 5 minutes, just sit back. Sit back and just close your eyes for a second. Try to breathe, do like what they call box breathing, right? You breathe in for like you do that. So again, breathing's big and I should do it. But box breathing is this. You go in for a count of 4, you hold for a count of 4, you let out for a count of 4, and then you start, and then you leave it out. So it's like,
Are you recommending doing this in the testing center?
yes. Because people get stressed out.
I know, but can you picture like one of the
fuck them? Seriously, have you been to the testing center? There's always some person doing this behind you. Fuck them. If the fact that they get mad because you breathe, no, let me tell you something. So I'm very quick with these tests. So back when I got it in 89, oh, God damn, none of you are alive then. It was like on rock, pillar, and stone. I was typing it in, but then I lost it because I worked on the stock exchange. So I took it again. And again, the reason I'm really good at these tests is because I'm delusional. But the other thing is, I'm so relaxed. I don't care. So what happens is it used to be. Remember, you used to get a break, right? Before 2018, you got a break. It was 250 questions. You did 3 hours on the front end, 3 hours on the back end. They were literally different tests. You couldn't overlap. So I would get them done quick. So I sat there. I did it. I get them done in like 45 minutes. I think that way. I'm quick. It doesn't mean I get perfect scores, but I'm good at these things. So I got it done in the first one in 45 minutes. I took the break. I was really quick, and it ended up being about 2:00. So they sat me back down on the chair, and I'm waiting for them to come in and start the test. I fell asleep. I'm literally sitting in the chair, and I kind of nod off because I'm just like, and then they woke me up. They go, I said, you didn't fucking start it. They go, oh my God. I think I slept for like 20 minutes. Like that's how long before they noticed. I probably thought I was dead.
Work.
What?
I've seen you fall asleep at work.
I know. It's true. I fall asleep. I used to fall asleep driving. When I first started on the stock exchange, we start late, so it was good. But my brother liked to get early, so I would usually drive. But I worked late. I was always up late. I valet parked till 2 a.m. I always had a second job, so a couple of times I would drive in, and I would park at Exchange Place. I don't know if you remember. You used to be able to park there.
Yeah.
And he would go in, and I would sit in the car a couple of times. And one time, he worked on the floor too. And the guy Joe Berg I worked with went to my brother. Goes, "Where's Ken?" And I swear I got there by 9:15, but he thinks it was 10:00. I fell asleep in the car, and I woke up.
That's exactly what they wanted. The market opens up at 9:30, and you're pulling in at 9:15.
Yeah, exactly. So I think 9:15, but it was that's par. That's totally on par with my personality. You know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's part of the reason I was in the towers when they got hit. Because I was showing up, it was 8:42 or 8:46.
That's
So
right.
I was the last I was the last train coming in, right? The last path train in there. So that's like literally if I come in at 8:45 or so, I'm walking on the floor at 9:00
Right.
because it's like a 10-minute walk. Oh, and breakfast, so really 9:15 because you can't go in there without breakfast.
Well, those escalators used to take how long to get up?
Oh
Remember
my
the old
God, those are
escalator?
good. When I was a kid, I used to run up them, the down ones.
The whole
Yeah, there was a
thing.
long ass. Those are
That
some
was
long
a
ass.
long ride.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm one of the few people. Now, there's a lot in New York that were in the tower both times it got hit in '92 and then in 2000.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. Okay, in there, I was at Sabaro's. In there when it got hit the first time. Anyway, so I like to sleep. So I'm saying the point is, I know that you're Driana. You're like, what the fuck? Keep it calm. Take every 40 questions. Take a break. Put your hand up. Get a drink of water. Go to the bathroom. Whatever. Then go back in. I literally had one girl. She was so badass. I always tell the story. She had a sandwich off to the side. She ate half a sandwich during her little break. She said it was more about just control. It wasn't about the hunger. It's just about having control of her situation. She felt like a badass doing it. They were all staring at her. She's like, yeah, fuck you guys. Okay. Supposed to take my Bo Bridges. So supposed to take my essay for the second time, struggling with fatigue and lower scores in practice. Okay. Okay, the day before, do not, besides videos, do not do exams. Go over any kind of cheat sheet you have, build a hot sheet, take it easy. Make sure that you go to sleep at a normal time. I am telling you right now, sleep is underrated. Sleep is absolutely underrated. So the biggest thing is, if you're not taking it tomorrow, so Rick, get the fuck off my live, by the way. You need to go get some sleep. But, so you have to, see, Sparkers, he said you're exactly right with the stuff you saw that, right?
No.
Spark, it's my ADD kicking in.
Well, let me say.
He said you're exactly right about what you were saying. All
With
those foreign words you were stating.
With the exhaust, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, Bo, back to you for a second. Yeah, I get it. Maybe if you're not taking it in the next 2 weeks, take a fucking day off. If you're taking it next week, you can. But if you're taking it anytime after next Friday, take a day. Take a day and just relax. The day before should be easy. Customer counts, stuff like that. Reading. Again, I'll say watching videos. But you got to be done by dinner time. You got to relax, go get some sleep. If you have time, start going to sleep early, at least a week before. Set a pattern so you're tired and getting up early. Cramming at night never works. Never do that. Okay. Boom. A good Rick's gone. Hopefully that's good. Okay. Do you have memorized? No. I don't have a jingle. What?
You have a jingle.
Do I have a jingle? Jingle. Like we got what? We got treasuries. We got the munis. No, I don't have one.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah,
no, it's not going to work. I can get one, but I remember somebody I know used to show the OC. She used that. She's like, "Give me Sandy Cohen's infamous bagels immediately after Passover," and that's how she remembered all the stuff. I don't know what that was, but she's like, that was the thing. You do have to know them, but I mean, again, really, Ed. They're not that bad. I mean, if you think about them conceptually, you're fine. The exempt transactions you don't have to memorize all of them. But again, I have a video. Here's the thing. I have a video called Can I Sell a Security? It's in the playlist, I think in the crash course too, where I have a chart where I show registered, exempt security, exempt transactions on a piece of paper. Print that shit out. But look, kind of makes sense, right? So treasuries, obviously. Any federal government, whether it's Brazil, well, we're good with Brazil right now. Brazil, Mexico, not London. London's a city. United Kingdom, France. Those are all exempt. Canada. And then the muni side, it's only U.S. and Canada. Like, America's hat. So we just figure it's, the 51st state, if you will. So those munis would also be exempt. So anything Canadian, muni, or federal, any federal government. But remember, not Mexico City, not London, not Rio, just the countries. Utilities. If you remember from the 7, a lot of them overlap. Utilities, banks, Common carriers, that's international shipping. Commercial paper, there's some rules on that, but pretty much commercial paper. Anything on an exchange, investment company stuff. Nonprofit, charitable, religious, those are the main exempt ones. Exempt transactions, think you're not selling to the public. You got to think, okay, we're not selling to the public. Okay, now, like think about this. Remember, exempt transactions are for things that normally have to register, but because of the way you're doing it, you don't have to. Like, for example, unsolicited. Now, it's not just unsolicited, it's unsolicited non-issuer. Now, how do I explain that? Let's say Jeff and I, we take our shit public in New York. We publicly register in New York only. That's qualification, right? Boom. If then we want to sell shares in Jersey, we can't because we're not registered there unless it's in an exempt transaction. Like somebody in Jersey goes, ooh, that tutoring company is amazing. They want to buy it. So they call up the agent and they buy it from someone else, not from us, in the secondary market. So that's fine. That's an unsolicited non-issuer transaction. Or if somebody just wants to trade our shares between each other, again, isolated non-issuer. If we want to sell to institutions, that's fine. Again, because think of the isolated and unsolicited, that's the rep, that's the client wanting to do it, not the rep. Because remember, the rules here are to protect the moron retail customer from the big bad broker dealer and issuer from ripping them off. So selling institutions, they can defend themselves. If it's a private placement, you can have up to 10 retail, as many institutions as you want. Okay, that's exempt transaction also because you're selling mostly to institutions, very little retail. Selling to your own employees, that's fine. If I want to sell to my contractors, I can. If I don't sell to the underwriter, though, that's fine too. Those are all types of exempt transactions. Don't worry about memorizing every little one. They'll make it pretty obvious. It's not like it's a fill in the blank. They're there. So if you kind of go over that list enough times, it'll be there in your head. So when you see it, you go, oh, that's an exempt transaction. But remember, the unsolicited and the isolated are non-issuers. Okay. Chrissy, thank you very much. I'm still waiting for that shirt. Okay, so now she made a shirt that she's going to surprise me with. Okay. I think it's see-through. No, okay. Missed it. So you missed the 65 by that much. Okay. Yes. Test question. So that's the big thing. Everyone goes, what's the biggest thing that people get screwed up on with the test? And what is it? The wording. Because what happens is that's why I'm a big fan of multiple vendors. People do, like they stick with Past Perfect or Kaplan or SDC or Achievable, and that's all they do. And then and their scores go up because they're used to the questions. And that becomes a problem because you get, you get like what they call question bias, whatever. It's kind of blindness to other shit. And then when other shit comes at you, you're like, crap, I don't know what they're asking. So I'm a big fan of multiple vendors. But again, not the week before. You got to give yourself some lag time. And that's why also I'm a big fan of study groups. And again, if you want to join study groups, join that Facebook group and just post, I'm looking for a study group. You'll have a bunch of people saying they want to do it. There's so many people doing them. Like I saw one where somebody posted, I want to start. Do I have any study groups out there I want to join? And 9 people said, I want to do it too. So I was like, there's just a fucking study group. They all got together and they're working together. And the reason I like it is because then you'll see their vendors. All the dogs inside. Hold on. Let me double check. 1, 2. Yeah, they should be. I'm talking to you guys. My wife texted me if the dogs are inside, and I'm telling you guys the dogs are inside. You guys don't give a shit. Okay. Now, go join the study group because maybe one person has Past Perfect, one has Achievable, one has Notman, one has STC, another one has Trading Consultants. Then you get to see tons of different questions, and then you're not going to be just focused on one type. And then the goal is to know it well enough that the questions don't matter. That's the goal, is to know it well enough that if the questions come at you from a different angle, you're good. Also, don't forget, guys, if you do like Achievable or STC, I have links in a lot of my videos, not this one, my other videos. You can get a discount on most of them. They're fantastic. Achievable is great. Also, if you need some tutoring, obviously we do it. Okay. We do the tutoring. I have 4 tutors, but if you don't like my style or you don't like my tutors, go check out Michael Weiss, especially, well, that's crazy, especially for the 65, 66. He has a CFA. He's been in the business like I have. He's fantastic. Michael Weiss over at Series7examtutor.com. He's really good. Okay. You know what's weird? These lights makes me feel blind. Okay, so now. Yeah, 4 points is fucking coy, baby. Okay. Andrew, baby, curse, baby, all the time. Now the thing is, typing might not let you. Okay. I have a whole playlist. If you go into my blue collar, I think I changed it. But if you look up blue collar finance or Series 7 Whisperer on, you could see it. Okay. Do you see your grinder lied to you?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. You do the spot. You can do one of two things. Alexa, either find my blue collar finance or Series 7 Whisperer podcast, and I definitely have 65 stuff on there. But if not, I'm pretty sure you can put the videos on your phone on my playlist and just run them that way, and just not listen. It's the same stuff, right? So you just let them play. And I think now, if you're YouTube Premium, not that I'm saying to do it. I do it because I don't like commercials, but I think you can lock your phone and it'll still play. Okay. So the economic and business info got you. That's fair. That's bigger on the 65 than the 66. But I think everyone seems to say who's taking the 65 that if you find my economic factors video, I think it says SIE exam on it, but it's in the 65 playlist. They cover pretty much everything that's on that part. Okay. Oh, Morgan. Okay. So yeah, you should have the link. If you the link is right below this chat. You hit the thing, hit join button, and just hit the serious study method. That's what you're looking for. Serious study method. And then remember, it sounds weird, turn notifications on. And if you like this shit, please hit a like. But turn notifications on because that's going to matter because the link goes out around 4:30 on Friday. And if you don't have the link, you can't get in. So, and if it's come like 5:30 and you didn't see it, either message me on one of the posts or look in the membership tab or the post and you should see it. If you look in the post or the membership tab and you don't see it, then you're on the wrong membership level. Okay. Vijandi. The only way to really do this, so you're retesting it. The only way to really decode them is to take your time, and take as many tests as again. That's the thing. This is the one exam that I say take tests until your eyes bleed. If you run out of questions, say you're an SDC and you run out of questions, buy the Kaplan QBank. If you have Kaplan, go buy the SDC supplemental exams. You get 4 new ones. If you have both of them, go get Achievable. Buy their questions. They're different, way different than the exam. You can go to training consultants. The problem is the only ones that sell just questions is SDC with their supplemental and then Kaplan with their QBank. Okay. The only way to do that. Also, if you go to my exam walkthrough playlist, I have a playlist where I take exams. If you scroll down to the bottom, I have 2 or 3 videos where I take 63 exams online. That works. That'll teach you how I process questions. I have one called Take It Like a Savage, where you learn how to not overthink. That's the problem with the 63 sometimes. It's a fast test, and people tend to overthink, and then the last 10 questions are rushing, and then they miss by 1. Okay. Good. Okay. Here we go. Am I already caught up? Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I see what I did. You hit the link and it put me to the bottom and answered questions.
I was wondering how you got down there so quick.
I know. It's crazy. Okay.
That's amazing.
I know. Moving quickly out of here. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. You know what? Well, Coy, this is the problem. If a lot of people who take the 65 don't have the 7, they have the 6, or they're just taking the 65 as a standalone, and then it doesn't work. I agree. Okay. And that's the thing. Guadalupe, I'm going to get you in a second. If you're taking the 65 because you don't have the 7 or it's a standalone, the 66 will not work for you. However, if you have the 7, if you fail this, if you do the 63, 65 route and miss, you can take the 66 and it matters. But again, if you don't have the 7 or not going to get it, the 66 is not a route you can take. Okay. I agree. I don't know because I think I should go take the 65 just to try it out because I tend to think that there are more straightforward questions. I think the 66 is cruel. I think they go, and I'm not saying the 65 can't be that way anyway, but a lot of it seems like everyone has a tougher time with the 66 than the 65. Maybe the 65 is more straightforward. I don't know. But the 63-65 combo is a valid way to get around the 66, but it is easier to take one test versus two. Oh, by the way, Jeff, did you know Troy passed the 66 the other day?
Really?
Yeah.
That's
He
awesome.
missed it the first time, and then he got it the second time. I love Edward Jones. I love the people there, but they only give you 19 days to study each test. But they're paying
I
you.
think with 19 days.
I don't know. I think they figured that's 60 days or so. I don't know. Is that 3 times 20, right? Yeah. I think it's like 1 day break, and then maybe it's a 60. That's 60 days to get all your licenses. Maybe. Okay. Oh, hold on. Coy, I'll get you in a second. Jessica. Boom. That's outstanding. Let's go. Hold on. Let's go. You're not just gonna get the advice. We get the love too, right? I should have played that for Chrissy when she has the test anxiety. But congrats, Jessica. That's awesome. And I always ask people, and anyone who's passed the exam and still on here. Oh, hold on. I gotta get to Guadalupe in a second. But anyone who's passed the exam, if you saw any surprises, pop them in the chat. I know what's on the exam. I know mostly what's on the exam, but if there's anything popping up that you're like, the books didn't cover, I want to help out. Now, Guadalupe, how to get past the 69 threshold? Yeah, there's a joke in there somewhere. I think you got to go back and read. Okay, here's my thing on this. The reason I'm good is because I don't waste a lot of time on these questions. I pick an answer and then move on. I don't change them. You have to, in your mind, think they're very literal. That's the hardest part of this, is that the exam questions are very, very, they're not always straightforward as you want, but they're literal. Like if they say always, they mean always. If they say never, they mean never. If they say debt to equity, they mean debt versus equity. It's very literal. Like for Sharpe ratio, it's exam benefits over exam. It's portfolio benefits versus portfolio risk. I mean, sometimes they talk in such a low, like a very simple, like a very, very simple format that it throws people off. It does. And that's the thing, is that, so maybe you got to start. I want you to take a test tomorrow with the answers off, and you pick an answer and move on. You are forbidden for the next test you take, Guadalupe, to change answers. That's the rule here. Okay.
I want everybody to put something in the chat.
What?
I want us to, if you put in the chat, if you keep the answers on or off when you take final exam.
Yeah, I want to hear what
and then after everybody puts them in, we'll tell you why.
Okay. Good.
When you're taking practice exams.
Okay.
Let's see what the consensus is on keeping the answers on or off when taking practice exams. Yeah, you can just put in on or off.
Okay. Oh, did somebody just email you? No. Oh, no, it was today. Okay. I think that's a good idea. Okay. Let's see what they do.
Here we go.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
Let's see some more answers.
Coy, baby. Hold on. Let's see what's Coy saying. Okay. Yes. 100% Coy. Don't spend a lot of time on that. Okay. Yes, there is. There is an achievable promo code. Ever. Now, if there is, if you go on the Facebook group, it's in the pinned post up on top. The Facebook group that shows you at the bottom. If not, so if you shoot me an email, if anyone wants to shoot me an email, I'll send you the code. That's it. It's kenfinnan@gmail.com. I'm going to regret that. But kenfinnan@gmail.com. And just email me and I'll email you the code for Achievable. It's not big. You get like $10 off. But it's worth it. And they're cheap, so it's not so bad. Okay. Yep. Coy's got it right. Okay. I think it works. By the way, after you do it, you can see the good thing about Achievable is that they give you a free trial that you can try a chapter out for free and go, oh, I like it or don't like it. Okay. Oh, this is Jeff. This is right for you. Here's one thing. This is what I want to do. We're going to crowdsource this too. Jeff, I want you to look at this a little bit, but everyone on here who's been through interviews, if you have any advice, let's hear it. I want to hear what people say. I mean, I'm not saying you should take it or anything because a lot of us are idiots. Like I would be a horrible. I do great on interviews just because I'm somewhat personable. But when they start to like, I never ask good questions. But my last interview was 2016. Yeah.
Here's what I think. When you go on any interview, especially in this business, just remember that the way that I feel like they speak to you in the interview is the way the culture is going to be at the firm. And if you're able to answer, how many windows are there in Manhattan on all the buildings, or why are manhole covers round, and you're good at answering those questions, then you'll probably fit into that culture. Right. Don't be something that you're not, because you're just going to be miserable when you get there. Don't tell them what they want to hear. Like, sit there and actually listen to what they're saying and be yourself, because that's where you're going to have to go every day. And especially, a managing director probably going to have a lot of clout at that firm and is going to set the tone. And the tone is always set from the top. And then, investment banking, you're looking at long hours. So you're going to be with these people for a lot of your week. Yep. So be happy with, watch their personalities, see how are they, are you somebody who likes to be social and friendly, or do you prefer to get asked the straightforward questions and answer those challenging, what would you call them? Not mind bending, but those kind of thought inducing questions, pick up on the culture.
Do you know that, when to say, Mason started doing videos on Instagram talking about those questions, how to answer questions and stuff like that.
See, I think, if you want to answer the questions and show them that's fine. But at the same time, remember, you're interviewing for something that you're going to spend more time at than you are at home.
Yep.
Can you take a look at the results from the on or off question? Yeah. Because a lot of people answered.
Okay. No, I didn't interview. It's a meet and greet. Okay, yeah. Just don't need any fucking.
I happen to like meet and greets because I think it's a more casual, friendly environment, and you get to really see somebody's personality a little bit away from a formal. I love meet and greets, by the way.
Right. Usually it's just, where do they do it? With food, or they do a coffee, stuff like that?
Sometimes they'll say, you want me for a drink, you want me for coffee, meet me for breakfast, and I think it's great because I don't know if this could be outside the office, but I happen to really like those.
Right. I do. I think they're better for the personality. Yes. I also know that they're watching how you treat the staff. If you go to get coffee, they watch.
Oh, that trick? Like how you order and how
do you order, how do you talk to them and stuff like that? Yeah. Like I always remember somebody I know, I guess it's not new, but the receptionist was in on it. Like when you went in there, it's how you treated the receptionist went in, and they interviewed everything. Because that's where
just go in and be yourself.
Yep. Be a normal person.
You're going to miss like 9 out of 10 interviews. You're not going to match up with them. Yep. It's like finding a spouse.
Right. Yeah.
On one date and saying if you're going to get married or not.
Yep. Yeah. Can't do it on a date. Okay.
So let's go to the on-off questions.
I'm looking. Let's see. So
it's very interesting.
Okay. Yeah, look at that. Oh, so Christian, that's interesting. Okay, hold on. Off on keeper. I have to know I got it wrong. Allison Fair, because I'm always on. That's funny. Okay.
The one that you just read, I have to know if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah.
When you're taking the exam, here's why I asked this question.
And by the way, just you guys, I will go back to your questions. We didn't skip. I will go back and
I just want to cover this because I think it's really important.
Yep.
When you take the exam, do you see the answers after you answer each individual question? And the answer is no.
Right.
So you want to get into the mindset of not knowing if you got it right or wrong during the exam. So when I say take practice exams, Take the exams straight through without the answers. Like Ken always says, you should spend more time reviewing the exam than actually taking it. Because I think the secret to passing is understanding the explanations and making sure that your thought process is the same as the answer to that question. And that gets you in the right frame of mind.
Yep.
And when you're sitting there and you got, let's say, an exam with how many questions are on the 66? What is it?
110.
110. When you're at question 50, you don't know for those first 50 questions if you got it right or wrong, but you have to keep pressing on, and you've got to keep picking, the right answer based on your knowledge that you acquired from doing all the practice exams. So I think to simulate the testing environment is really important, but reviewing the exams, I'm not telling you not to review them. You have to review them, and you have to spend a lot of time on it, but get used to not knowing and going through the full exams. And that's why I prefer to take it off than on, because you don't want to give yourself a false confidence. And very quickly, and then we can move on. Because if you leave them on and you answer the first 10 questions and you get 9 right, you're going to feel better. But if you answer the first 10 and you get 6 wrong, that doesn't mean you're not going to pass the exam, because you could go on a tear and get the next 25 out of 30 right and be in a great spot, but you just knocked yourself down also because you got the first 6 out of 10 wrong.
Right. I'm with you.
So that's why
I agree. I found out, I tell the story all the time. I had a girl, I lost a student because of this. Not in a bad way, in a good way, right? So she kept taking the test. She was doing it, and she had the answers on, and she couldn't get over like a 55 or 60. And I have one guy who used to get mad when he had the answers in, so we had to turn them off. But she was like, she can get over, it's like 58, 62, 64. And I said, how you taking them? She goes, I usually taking them with the answers on. I said, try it with the answers off.
And what happened?
And her scores went to like the mid 70s. And I never fucking saw her again until she texted me and said I passed.
See, Ed just put in a comment here at the bottom. You naturally change your approach to questions when you know you are getting
Ed, 100%.
Yeah, that's the whole point. And like sometimes you can either show that you really have a great comprehension and you're not getting bogged down by getting an answer wrong or something, but it also then shows you like you were scoring is 75s to 80s with the answers on, but with the answers off, you scoring in the mid to high 60s.
Right.
So it goes both ways, but it gives you a true barometer of where you kind of stand when taking.
Did you see what Kathy wrote? Will, I'll get you. I'm way behind, but I will get you on that.
Okay. Explanation, because if you're not passing. No. See, that's the other thing, the timing issue. You're not going to accurately be able to find out if you are pacing yourself properly for the exam if you're reading the question and then reading the explanation and really reading the explanation like you're supposed to, because then you're going to be like doubling or tripling your time on each exam. But what I have noticed talking to a lot of people, Ken, this is really interesting. People who leave the answers on seem to get through the exam in like half the time. And I don't know why that is. I think they get, there's like a false sense of confidence. They keep cranking through, and I think it messes up your timing one way or the other. You really need to know, do I need to pick up my cadence during studying, or maybe I'm even rushing too quickly?
Right.
Maybe you're doing the exam in 45 minutes and you're scoring in the high 60s, whereas you're missing obvious questions that you would have gotten right if you would have slowed down a little.
Yeah. I mean, look, can we admit that I probably know my shit as far as the information, right? So before they went to no scores, just a little bit, right? So before I got the scores, before they stopped doing scores, I took the 66 the first time. I studied for it. I did all that shit. I'm a lazy person. I don't study that hard. Thank God I have some brain cells that I can take a test, because if not, I'd be dead. But I took the 66 and I did it in 45 minutes. It's way too fast. I got an 81. I passed, but I was like, I thought I was so much better than that. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I was like, again, I was teaching it at the time. I should have done better, right? So I let it expire. I let it. I didn't hold it. I let it expire. And then 2.5 years later, I took it again, studied a little bit less, same time. I took the entire 150 minutes or whatever, and I got one wrong. So think about it. I know my shit, and I went too fast. I lost 20 points. Do you guys have 20 points to give?
It's even to make it simpler. It's like you can read without vowels because you're anticipating the words.
Yep.
But like you start anticipating where they're going with the question. You know, you have the test anxiety. It is definitely an anxiety experience, but you can control that by being confident in your study. You know, when you study to minimize that. But you do have to have a certain pace between going too fast and going too slow.
Right.
And that's where and that's the whole point back to why you don't want to have the answers on.
Right. I agree. I'm okay with the first 1 or 2 tests just to get used to it and learn. But after that, go test mode. Also, if you're doing like 5 to 10 question quizzes, sure, put your answers on. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Because you're not about time. You're learning.
That's fine. If you're
But
doing like
if you're
the
doing a full
bank or
final,
something, yeah.
match the final. I even say when you're getting closer, go turn the heat up in the room. Wear shoes wear tight clothes. Wear shoes that don't fit so well. Just replicate the stress. Whatever.
But it's very simple. You can minimize the stress by after you take the exam, just read the explanations, the practice ones.
I did a video on that because I get questions all the time. They go, "What does this mean?" I literally say back to them what's in the explanation. They go, "Oh, thanks a lot. You could have fucking read it. This could have been an email."
Okay. Exactly.
Okay. Now, this is a great question. Jazzy jazz. Okay. Okay. I don't know. Usually I like 4 weeks, but if you're studying every day, you should be fine. You're using the achievable. Here's the thing. If you plug in the date you're taking, so say you put it for the 30th and you plug in the date that you're taking it. The question is, does it skip? Here's the best way to know. If you look at the study plan, does it skip anything? And Coy, you're right. You're probably fine. But if you have no experience, sometimes you get used to this. Go into the study plan and look. Does it skip any sections? Does it shortcut? If it shortcuts anything, then you don't have enough time.
Here, I'm putting the link in for Jazz just because I think
the class?
The custom study.
Oh yeah, got it. Okay.
Because it'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Here's the link if you want to do this.
Right.
I could get into more detail with you.
Yep.
But the thing is like, you know, you get 6 hours a day, but is that, you know, the way you typically would have studied for anything?
Right.
You know, are you gonna, you know, it's really the quality of the time that you put in. It's not that you have 6 hours a day. Like you might only get 2 hours of benefits out of studying for 6 hours.
Yep.
But you're fried after 2 hours.
And you're not doing it the right way.
And like, right, exactly. And it's like, you know, is 6 hours because you get to do it at work, or is it because you have the time, or, you know, why are you setting those 6 hours? And that's what I get.
I'm hoping that you're paid to do it.
What's that?
You know, we're hoping they're being paid to study during the day. Because during the day, 6 hours works.
You know, and do I need more time, more experience? You know, a lot of people, these are brand new concepts. Yep. So even though
this person said, it's right.
Yeah,
I think this person said they have, what do you call it? They have no experience.
You're right. A lot of people say that, and it's like, you know, I'll tell you something very quickly. Funny. When I started in the business, you know, decades ago, and I saw the word MUNIS, I'm like, what's a munis? I mean, it was just like, you know, there's just like everybody's different. Everybody's got a different way of studying, a different knowledge base, you know, how they learn. It's just do with what you're comfortable with, but make it make the time valuable. Even if it's 45 minutes at a time, 30 minutes at a time, and then you need to take a break. Just don't grind out 6 hours for the sake of saying I put in. Nobody's going to reward you for putting in 100 hours where you only absorb 20 hours worth of material.
Right. I agree. Okay.
Exactly, Alexa. It's meaningful time spent.
There we go. I'm doing this one. I like this one better. I like this comment better. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. XXX. Okay. Boom. Okay. So now I'm back to being half an hour behind, but that's okay. Okay. Now, discounted cash flow. I do this all the time, and I have a video on it called Time Value of Money. So discounted cash flow is a method. It's the method to find. I was going to go to the store today. I'll see if it happens. If we finish by 9:30, I can still get to the store. So if not, guys, if I go past 9:30, I'm going to Wendy's for food, and I'm blaming you for me being fat. Now, if present value, to find present value, you need future value. What is future value? It's what an investment now will be in the future. So let's say I invest $853 now, wildly specific, at 5%. It's going to be $1,000 in 3 years. So that's my future value, $1,000. Now, if I say I want $1,000 in 3 years, what do I have to invest now to get to that number? Okay. So that's my question. Okay. What do I have to invest to get to that number? So we have to figure out what that's called the present value. So the way we do it is we take the future value and we discount it back. Okay, if we're earning 5%, you take 1,000, subtract the 5-ish%, and you get a number. Then you do it again and again. You do it for 3 years, and that's where you come up with like $850. So discounted cash flow is the method that you discount all the future cash flows to get today. If you want to think of it conceptually, money now is worth more than money later. So $800 now is worth 1,000 in 3 years, or $850 now is worth 1,000 in 3 years. What does that mean? That means if you were to spend $853 today and you wanted to buy the same stuff in 3 years, it will cost you 1,000. So how do we figure that number out? The method is DCF. You most likely will not see how to do the math. Okay. Most of it's what is it? And DCF evaluates cash flow. It's to find present value, not to evaluate present value. Present value is the target. Discounted cash flow is the method. If you find in the playlist my time value of money video, I show you how to do the math on it. Okay, cool. Oh, I already got an email about the achievable link. Okay, good. Okay. Do you get questions on charges? You might. I don't think they'll ask you. Here's the thing. I don't think on this 63 they will ask you, oh, this and this, what's your charge? They want you to know that if you're an agent, you charge a commission. If maybe they want to know that it's a 5% guideline, but that's really a FINRA thing, not a state thing. They might want you to know, if it's a principal, do you want markup or markdown, stuff like that. So again, those are the questions you're going to get. They're not going to ask you, what's the commission on this? That's a vendor thing. That's not a NASAA thing. Okay, I think you already got that one. I think I answered this question already. Register for the Friday. By the way, so again, if you're signing up for the class, remember, turn your fucking notifications on, because I'm sick of getting emails or text messages at 6 p.m. going, where's the link? I'm fucking not answering you. Okay, I will, but I'm just going to pretend I won't. Gear Grinder, I'll see you on Friday. Remember, 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Yes. So Christian, yes. If you're switching vendors or you're going from one vendor to another, and here's the thing, not-min questions are hard. They're convoluted. They take you down a dark path before they answer the question. Then they punch you in the face and the back of the head at the same time. So they're hard. Okay. If you're switching vendors, they will go down. Sometimes if you take a test, you could lose 5 to 6 points, maybe 10 on it. But here's the thing: if you're using not-min, and from one test to another you drop 10%, make sure the ones you're getting right aren't luck. Go over the explanation. As he said, read the explanations. It's big. It's really, you gotta read the explanations. Okay. Alexa, I don't have one that's as good as my 7, but I might do one. I'll leave it at that.
I think you're itching a little bit for this challenge.
To do this? Yeah. I have questions that are good. I think I have to create one. Like my brutal exam is it was on my favorite. I love that video because it's everyone goes, oh my God, I saw like 3-4 questions on the test. But I'm not saying it's planned. I'm just saying maybe it's luck, whatever. I will do something like that for the 66. I have a couple. By the way, if you go to my exam walkthrough playlist, I have I think I have 2 66s and a 65. And anyone taking the 66 or 65, you can take either one of those and be fine. Okay.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So I'm saying there's a chance. It's absolutely.
Excellent.
The problem is I teach so much that, and I teach till like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. So I don't really start teaching till 11 or 12 during the day. But that morning, I'm just like, I am not in the mood to do anything. But I just did a video today. So and it posted about an hour and a half ago. So not my Goldman Sachs one. It was another long one. I think I'll get there. Okay. If you're scoring 64 to 67 on Notman, you're probably not ready yet. Now, if you're telling me you're taking the test tomorrow, yeah, go for it. You got it. But if not, I would go back and maybe figure out what sections you're low on and read it. Like I've been saying this for since forever. Testing is not studying. Testing is to find your weakness. It is not studying. It's to find where you suck. And that's what you're trying to do. Okay, join. Yeah, the Zoom class. Okay. The Zoom class will be, what do you call it? The Zoom link will go out about 5 o'clock on YouTube. Now, the class is on Zoom, but all the shit goes through YouTube. Tiffany, hi. Okay. We're back to that. Okay. To both. Look, Ed has a good idea. You do the first 2 of them on, and then you do the rest with off. That's not a problem. Okay. And Gear Grunder's always on. I love it. Okay. We answered Allison stuff. Okay. Good. David, I love that. You switched to after. I love it. Okay. Morgan, thanks for joining it. Okay. Now, here's the other one. Okay. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Okay. 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 This is my big thing. Stay in the fucking moment, Scooby. Don't think about the other one. The 63. Okay. The 63 is way different than the SI. I don't think it's harder. I think the 7 is the hardest of them. SIE is a little easier. I mean, it's a lot easier. And then the 63 is probably just different because it's more wordy. But again, you got to focus on the shit in front of you. You got to fight the devil in front of you. Okay. So I've been watching The Chosen. So I'm going to be all religious now. Have you ever seen that show, Jeff?
Which show?
The Chosen?
No.
It's fucking good.
I've heard of it.
I've been watching it on Prime. It's it's about, right? The guy you don't believe in.
Okay.
But it's pretty. Anyway, the whole point, it doesn't matter. I just kind of ran it. Anyway, back to this. So we have, if you focus on what's in front of you, focus right there. Focus on the SIE. After the SIE, then focus on the 63 or 7. Do not think about anything past you. That's what I remember. I was doing that, I think, in the class last night. We have an SIE class too that we do on Wednesdays. Whenever I'm explaining something, I can tell when somebody's thinking about the next thing I'm going to say. Stop fucking doing that. Focus on what I'm telling you. Because they go, was I say something and I say something kind of revelational, right? Whatever you want. That's a revelation. And they go, okay. I'm like, no. This should be okay. Because I know they're waiting for the other shoe to drop. And they're saying, wait, what about the second part? Stop fucking thinking about the second part. Just handle what's in front of you. Handle the SIE and then handle the rest of it. I'm a big fan of that. I am not a fan of thinking about beyond the next moment.
They're very different exams.
Yeah. 100%.
The SIE is, getting you caught up to speed on basic knowledge of all markets.
Yep.
And then when you get to the, let's call it 63, 65, 66, you're talking about state rules and regulations.
Right.
There's
the wording's different, everything.
The wording different, the type of questions.
Right.
Remember, this is like, Are you training for the 100-yard dash, or are you training for a marathon? They're both running,
Yeah,
but you're going to train differently.
right. I agree. Or even like 100 dash and the 800, right? It's just like
Right.
it's like you're still sprinting but different. Okay, yeah, 100%. It's a good analogy.
Yeah.
But again, if like when I was in high school, I ran track. When I thought about the 400, I didn't think about the fucking 800 because it would piss me off. I think about the race in front of me. That's all I did. It's all I cared about. I was slow, but I was sucky at it. But I only thought about the race I'm in front. Okay.
Yeah.
Now here's this. Yeah, that's funny. That's when you go in the interview, can get you all anything. That's a good thing. Okay. That's great.
That is good.
Now hold on, Erica. I missed this with all the fun. That is awesome. Hope you're still here. Since you passed the 63 and I made you wait, I'm playing my favorite. I have a feeling she's not here because I don't see anyone from Facebook anymore. Sad. Okay. It's okay. Hopefully she'll watch it later and go, yeah, I got my song. Oh, one girl, Michelle, I'm supposed to find. Last spring, she said she passed and she wants me to find it. I'm like, are you kidding me? I can't even find my fucking phone half the time. Okay. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is a good question. So on all the tests, there's 10 fake ones. Now, here's where you don't need 70 out of the 75. You need a 70%, Will. Okay? You need you just emailed me, so I hope you're still on here. You need a 70%. So what the fuck 70% of 75? Is that 53?
Yeah.
75 times 0.7. You need 50. You need 53 right. You don't need 70 right. You need 53 right. 52 and a half, but you need 53 right. So that's what I'm saying. 70 out of 75, we would have not a lot of people working in this business. So the 85 don't count. So they do the percent. So literally you can get all 10 of the fake ones right, and it doesn't help you. You can get all 10 of the fake ones wrong. It doesn't help you. It's literally you have to get 53 out of the 75 that count right. That's it.
Wait. Do that math again off of 85.
85 times 0.7. 59 and a half. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I always like to give myself a cushion on things like this because, like, you don't know what those 10 questions
I know.
are.
Yeah, but this what
I know what you're saying, though.
No, but what everyone does is when they take the practice exams, they go, well, I got it. They don't count this 10. Like, here's the problem. When they take the vendors exams, they go, well, I got 70% out of the 80, or I got like 58% out of the 85, but if I take it off, I pass. No, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Because those count on the practice exams, SDC, Achievable, they count. And they go, well, no, it doesn't matter. If you get 70% of 30 or 70% of a million, it's still 70%. So
Right.
if you're under 70, you're not, I mean, look, if you're on Kaplan and you're like 70, 69, and it's a lot of stupid things, or even past perfect, you're probably going to pass. I literally had somebody who couldn't get over a 62 on Kaplan, especially the practice exam, and pass. And I had somebody on past perfect was taking he still owes me tickets to the Kentucky Duke game, but he's from Kentucky. He said, I get you in, but he couldn't get over a 62 like ever. And then he goes, the test was so easy. And that was on past perfect. So I'm not a fan of that. I don't like people jumping into the test, but he had to take it on a date. The only time I ever let someone take a test when they're failing is when they come at me with a date already. Like if they go, I have a date, you can't do anything about it. Okay. Okay, Alexa. Oh, hold on. Sue. Suey. Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue.
You'll never take me alive. I'm getting high with my
Boom, baby. Sue, baby. That's awesome. Yes. 10 days is more than enough time for the 63. Give yourself 10 days. Read the book once or twice. Then take tests till your eyes bleed. Yeah, and congrats on the 6. Okay, hold on. Now, Alexa.
But take it seriously. Take the 63 seriously. Don't, take it for granted.
Right. I agree. If you act like it's a hard test, it'll be easy. If you
Yeah.
if you act like it's an easy test, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
I
That's the way I
remember.
tell everyone.
I mean, I know it's a little different now, but when I was saying, they're like, "Oh, you could study for it in the parking lot," and I'm like, "Huh?" I studied obviously the correct way, but that, you hear all kinds of bizarre.
Well, the analyst class, it's so crazy. I have the two that I do it right, but they do like a couple of the Goldmans and JP Morgan. They take the 7 on Friday. They take the 63 class the day before they take the 7, and then they take the 63 on the Sunday.
What's the point?
I know. No, they pass. They're over 50%, but I know come August I'm getting a million phone calls because that's when they what they do. What happens is then the parents start hitting Google. I guess usually middle of August I start getting a lot of parents phone calls because their kids are working 20-hour days. They can't call, so I'm getting them. I get more parents. I love Stanford people, but I've had more problems with helicopter parents from Stanford kids than anywhere else. I don't know if that means anything. Okay, Alexa, the 66 is vastly different. I don't know how to explain it other than that the 7 is the suitability and stuff is very like, okay, I got it. I think the 66, their stuff is just like it just comes from a different angle, a more academic or intellectual angle. That's what I have to say. So the 7 is one thing. I think the 66 comes at you and it tricks you. It's like the questions are easy, so you feel like you're doing well, but there's a word or two off, and that's why people get it wrong. Like people who are in the 80s on regs on the vendors, they end up in the high 60s on the regs on the real test because there's always a word or two off, or they go, oh, I know this, or they recognize it and they miss it. So Alexa, the biggest thing I can say is if you respect the 66 and try to read every fucking word and don't try to and you don't try to like fill in the blanks with like your own shit. Like don't bring your own shit into the question. You'll be fine. Okay. Yeah, it's funny. If you study right, you don't have to spend as much time. Also, I did find out, and it's anecdotal, but people who fail the 7 or the SIE and then pass it, they do better on the next exam because they have to do a deeper dive. Okay, here we go. I'm taking my Series 65 on Monday. Feel confident about everything besides formulas. Okay. Don't sweat the life insurance you got. Okay. You got to get the life insurance and get the again, don't sweat the formulas. You're going to get I have a video where I go formulas you need to know versus recognize. Most of the formulas you have to recognize. You might get a convertible. You might get a total return. You might get a discounted cash flow, but highly doubtful. You might get a couple options, and you might get a tips question, but I have videos on all those. Again, my 65, don't sweat them so much. And the financial statements, you got to know the difference between like balance sheet and income statement. Like an income statement is money flow. Balance sheet is assets and liabilities. They're not the same. You got to know how to recognize PE ratio. What is PE ratio? It's price over earnings. Okay. Earnings per share is earnings divided by shares, stuff like that. Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. Howie Kane. Okay, here we go. Howie Kane, like hurricane. Okay. Oh, I knew there was something in his name. Okay. By the way, Gear Grinder, everyone hates the life insurance products, but it's not that bad on the test. I literally did a video of it while driving down the highway. So it's the life insurance stuff isn't all that bad. But what happens is people try to memorize. That's the other problem with the 66. This is for Alexa and Gear and everyone. You can't memorize shit. You got to understand it. The 7, you still have to understand it, but yeah, there's stuff you can memorize, little tricks and stuff. That's what I think with the 66. It's more, you have to understand this stuff and you'll be better off. I think that's, I always try to figure out where it's different because it's differently worded. They have stupid lawyers doing it, but I feel that you have to understand this stuff a lot more than with the 7. Like you have to have a deep understanding of this stuff, not like trader level, but like understanding that, like why options are what they are or what bonds are. It just helps. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone, hold on. Let me get you Hurricane in a minute. Dylan, I hope you're still here. That's awesome. Getting the 7 down is nothing to sneeze at.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Beat that test, Dylan. That's fucking outstanding. Okay. I need more video. I need a bigger assortment of songs. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Hurricane. Okay. Now, yeah. So two things. One, we do a paid one on Fridays. But if you go to the Facebook group, there's always study groups starting. That I know that one just started today with like 8 or 9 people in it for the 65 and 66. So if you want to do the paid one, it's like $25 a month, which is what? $8 a class. That's cheap as hell. We meet every Friday night at 6 p.m. Just hit the join button on the channel. And if you can't do that, just go to the membership tab or the membership classes playlist. And I think some of them behind a paywall, you click it, it'll send you a link. And I think Jeff puts a link in here anyway, so it works. Okay.
Yeah, I can post it.
Good. Okay.
Stand by. Hang on.
Oh yeah, funny. I will try to do it. Howie, I know Chosen is fucking awesome. It's funny too sometimes. I'm watching. By the way, I'm watching at the end. I didn't realize they do bloopers at the end. It's kind of funny seeing somebody. It's funny stuff in there. It's like it's a little blasphemous. Okay. Yeah, Alexa, I'll try to do before that. I promise. Okay.
Oh, nice Greek Q grinder. Get it. Go get it.
Okay. I so when you I didn't get to sing it. So when you pass,
Yeah.
I didn't. So when you pass, I'll do the mashup one for you, Alexa. I'll remember that. Okay.
I like what Gear Grinder wrote here.
Okay, I'll get there. Okay. See, the people you love the songs. Okay. Scooby Dooby Doo. Okay. I'll get the Porsche money. That is fucking okay. That's funny. It's very funny.
We were talking about that.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, Scooby Dooby Doo. Just focus. Scooby Dooby Doo. Let's get it. Just get this SAE out of the way. Just focus on that, then focus on the 7, and then the 63 will be the easiest of the 3. Again, treat it with respect, but it'll be the easiest of the 3. So get this done, do it right, focus hard on this. That'll help you for the 7. The harder you study for the SIE, the better the 7 is. Porsche money, baby. Okay.
You know, the other thing is with the nerves, with like the SIE and everything. Remember, this is the field that you're entering.
Yeah.
So look at it as like a learning experience, not just an exam.
And I try to tell people it's a fucking privilege to be able to take this.
Yeah, it's like take it as excitement rather than anxiety.
Yes. I'm allowed to be miserable doing it because I already have the licenses. So, but I try to do these hype videos. Like I literally do these hype videos all the time. And I look at them and go, oh my God, I look like an idiot. But everyone goes, they help. Because you got to realize you're here for a fucking reason. And it's a short-term pain for a big time. This is what I tell everyone. You're changing your fucking life. This is
after you pass the exam.
What?
After you pass the exam, it's going to completely disappear at warp speed in your rearview mirror.
Yeah.
You're going to move on.
Be so busy doing the other shit and growing yourself. Yeah. But this is the door to get in. And it's just, you got to know that this is life-changing shit. And a lot of people don't pass. That's why I do that's why I do so much free shit. Because there's so many people who don't want to who can't spend the money, don't want to spend it. And they need help. Okay. Now, Bitcoin and crypto are regulated, but not by the SEC. Well, they could be by the SEC if they're a security, but it's more. I think they've fallen mostly into the commodities world, so they are regulated, but not by us. So they have their own rules, and they have commodity rules, and I'm sure the states have rules on this stuff, but they're still trying to figure this shit out. But Bitcoin, crypto, if it's a security, it's SEC. If it's not, and Blue Sky, if it's not a security, it's a commodities.
Are they asking crypto on this now?
Yeah, somebody had to define blockchain or something like that.
Blockchain.
I want to see the question because I
would love
know
to
what it
see the
is.
question.
What?
I would love to see the question because whenever it's discussed, they can't even tell. Is it an asset? Is it a store of wealth? Is it an equity? You know, like what is it?
Right. See, that's why I tell everyone, I go, it's a little reward for verifying a transaction. That's what Bitcoins are. Little coins are rewards for verifying transactions. A blockchain is a transaction. Your job is to verify it. If you verify it, you get a piece of a coin.
But blockchain's really more than just crypto.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Blockchain is ownership.
Is the chain of custody of your transaction all the way back to the beginning.
Immutable, what is it? Immutable transaction ledgers? Like, yeah.
So basically, it's almost like if Jeff sold his car to me, and then I
Yes.
sold it to Mike,
There you go.
Mike sold it to Joe. When Joe buys it, he sees Jeff, Ken, Mike on the list, and that's how he knows there's a chain of cut. And and that's the thing is that the computers are verifying those transactions, and that's how we know there's proof. And the first person to verify it gets a piece of the coin.
A big part of it is it's geared towards real estate. There's a big conversation with that, with real estate, with who owns land historically and putting it on, unable to make changes, like make it exact ownership.
Yeah, they could. I mean, I think blockchain has been like JP Morgan for the longest time said no crypto, and they go while secretly hiring 300 people to go do crypto. Right? I mean, he's not dumb, right? So basically, I always think whenever Jamie Dimon, I like him, okay? But every time he comes on, I just figure, okay, whatever he's saying, he's the opposite.
Oh, Jessica just put a great comment in.
Okay,
I know.
Oh, yes. That's awesome. I know it's great to be in there. It's great to be in there. Oh God. By the way, Selena, I will get you, and Parker, I'll get you. Okay. Now, when you're on there, this is what you have to do, because this is where people get screwed. I had a girl, Zoe, who lost. They didn't carry her 65. Set a calendar invite every year and just put on check your broker check. You want to make sure that all your licenses are on there and the states you're supposed to be in is in. It's your responsibility. Okay. So if you do it every year, then they can't screw you. Because do you remember this? Do you remember Night Securities at all, Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay. So in 2002 or 3, before broker check was a thing, you couldn't really check it. All of a sudden there was a big thing that came out that 1,200 people that worked for Night who had their 24, Night stopped holding it. They didn't tell them, they just did. So they all went to other firms and they go, "Oh, I want my 24. I have my 24." And they go, "No, you don't."
I was just going to say, how many people have come to you and says, "I have to retake this exam because my firm forgot to pick it up"?
Right. I had a girl that they never put it into Pennsylvania. And she figured out on the last day it was in there, but the person at her firm was on vacation.
And just remember, when you're on broker check, that means that clients can look you up.
Yep.
So it's a great accomplishment. I agree 100%. It's exciting.
Yep.
But at the same time, use it to your advantage. Make sure your record's clean. Make sure everything is correct in there. Make sure that you set reminders for renewal so that you check with whatever firm
every year.
Yes.
So set it right now. So Alexa and
put it in your phone.
Alexa and Jessica, put it on your phone as a reminder and have it just every year, once a year. So do it to now. Say July 10th every year.
But I would say if you renew it if it renews on July 10th, set it for like May or April, because then you got to go to compliance, make sure that they're carrying it.
Well, the reason I'm saying once a year is because it takes 2 years to fuck it up.
Right. But I'm just saying, don't wait until the exact renewal date.
Yeah.
Make sure it's done before.
Yeah. I agree. I'm with you. Okay. Let's see. So Selena. Yes. Take a final day, but not Thursday. Not the day. I'm not a fan of taking the test the day before. It's just not a thing for me. I don't like it. I think it hurts you. It's like asking for trouble. So I would say take a final every day, review the shit out of it, both the right and wrong answers, and then anything low, reread the stuff, watch videos, whatever you want to do. Almost like anything under 70, you want to reread the chapter or watch a video. Okay, now. I can talk about this super quick, but I have video. If you go to my 66 playlist, the first 4 videos cover this. There's a quick and easy, and then there's this one. But let's talk about this real quick before I jump off. Because if I don't go to the store, I will kill you guys. Now, and it closes at 10. Now, if I miss a store, I'm going to give you all wrong answers next Thursday. Everything it'll be opposite day. Now, so IA is the firm. They register either federal or state, never both. They register SEC or state, never both. So if they're over 110 million, they will register SEC only. Or if they manage mutual funds, they will. If their customers are mutual funds, SEC only. If they're between 100 and 110 million under management, they can choose either one, but never both. Under 100, they are state only, unless they're in more than 15 states. Then they are allowed to register with SEC plus other things. If they have, now here's the deal: if you have an office in a state, you have to do something. If you have an office in a state, you have to do something. If you're federal, you notice file. If you're state, you register. Because remember, no federal advisors never motherfucking register at the state level. I can't say that enough. And people go, oh, you register. No, you don't. You notice file. Now, if a state advisor has an office or more than 5 retail clients in a state, they have to register in each state that happens. If it's a federal covered advisor and they have an office or more than 5 retail clients, they notice file. They do not register. Now, don't worry about, here's the thing. Don't worry about exempt versus exclude. It's just, they're not going to ask you the difference. Exempt means you are what we say you are, but you don't have to register. Like if you're a federal covered advisor and you have no office or no retail in the state, you are an advisor, but you don't meet the definition. Okay. I mean, you meet the definition, but you don't have to register. Exclude. Commodity is not a security.
There for
They
about
broke
10
you.
seconds.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so that was the most important part of the test. No. So if you are exclude means you don't meet the definition. So like an IAR is not an IA. An agent is not a broker dealer. So they're excluded from the definition. A commodity is not a security. It's excluded from the definition. They will never ask you the difference between the two. I promise you that. Now, IARs work for IAs. IARs work for IAs. That means they only register at the state level or not at all. If they work for this is where it gets a little hairy, but it's okay. If you work for a state covered advisor, then you have the same rules as the advisor. An office or more than 5 retail clients, you have to register. If you're not, if you have 5 or less clients and you don't have an office, you don't have to register. However, if you work for a federally covered advisor, so again, you're an IAR for a federal covered advisor, then you register in the state still, but only if you have a place of business. You could have the entire state of Idaho, all 9 people, and not register if you don't have an office. If you have an office, you have to register. You have to register. If you don't, you don't. If you work for a federal covered advisor, the number of clients does not matter. If you work for a state advisor, the number of clients does matter. And that's it. I can't go much deeper than that. But find my videos. I have a quick and easy regs one, and then I have a video called Can I Sell a Security, where I have a chart where I show the securities registering or not. It will help, I promise. Okay. Parker, we're going to get it. Selena and Parker. That sounds like a famous duo, you know? Okay.
Or a sitcom.
Okay. 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 Oh, yeah. Alexa was loving the fact that it was freezing down in Florida. Yeah, you don't freeze in Florida except for on the internet. Okay, so now, did you listen to it on a podcast? That's good. Okay, now here we go. So here's a great part. So if you register, this is the thing people get confused at. You cannot start federally under 90. You can't unless you're in 15 states. But if you start federally, like say you have 110 or something, and then your assets drop to under 90. Okay. If you drop to under 90, then you have to withdraw your thing. But here's the crazy part. You have until 180 days after the next renewal date, which is the next fiscal year. So literally, they do everything in their power to keep you federal. So if you say it's March and you go to 88 million, you have until the following July to pull your shit. It's crazy.
That's great for your assets, right?
Yeah.
So
they want to keep you at federal because they want to keep you there. Because the idea is if you go to 88, there's a good chance that next year you go back up.
You better hope for good years in the market and that your clients don't leave.
Yeah, exactly. So the trip to Florida was good. It rained a lot, so we didn't get a lot of swimming. I did go swimming a little bit. Okay. Hurricane. I have videos, and This gets replayed tomorrow, baby. You can watch it. Okay. That's interesting. That's Evan. I agree with you. Okay. They want to make sure that you know. Here's the thing. So I'll get to the interesting part. They want to make sure you understand what IARs are. They want to make sure you understand what you can't do. Because if you look, a lot of the 63 is about ethics and prohibited activities. They want to make sure that you know what you can't do. Okay. So hurricane. You're forever and evermore. You're hurricane to me. Yeah, this plays in about an hour. This will repost on so you can watch it again or watch my freaking videos. Okay, now. Oh, hold on. It's not about the interstate. It's each state. It's not about interstate commerce. It's about each state. So, like, if you only do business in Florida, you don't need the 63. They don't require it. But if you're doing so, if you're in Maryland only, they do require it. Most of the states require it. I think Florida, maybe there's another one, but maybe Wisconsin or something. But it doesn't matter. So it's not about interstate commerce. It's about in the state. So the 63 is so that the state. Each state has their own administrator. The state administrator knows that you know the rules, and they know that if you screw it up, they can come after you. Okay. Boom. I love it. I'm sorry you have to listen to me on the way. You know what the biggest comment I get when people pass? Not the kids, but usually when they're older, like the husband, the wives, they're like, my husband is so fucking happy I don't have to listen to anymore. Because they're so sick of hearing. They think I'm fine, but they go, I don't want to hear his fucking voice anymore. I'm like, talk to my wife. She's stuck. It's been 35 years. Before we go, I think it's very funny. So she needs to talk to me about something because she loves Facebook Marketplace buying stuff. So I have to go pick it up. It doesn't matter, but it's about to happen. It's funny. I'm in the family room down here, and she's on the other side of the house, and my phone rings, and it's her, and I'm like, did I miss her leaving? She goes, no, and she's active. She's all over the place. She's not this lazy person at all. She didn't want to come down and talk to me, so she called me. So we're literally talking on the phone. I can hear her talking on the phone a little bit. It's like, how lazy not lazy, but how crazy can you be? And she goes, well, I have to call my daughter. And then my daughter pulls up in the car. I'm like, what the fuck?
How much do you miss the old school intercoms in the houses?
I know. My son and the house he's at has one, but it doesn't work.
Right.
We had one for a little while. So you know what I think is funny? Cormac, I'll get to you. I think texting saved my marriage. Because sometimes you can talk about stuff and you just get it in writing, and then okay. And like if she says something, I can remember it because I just read it. Okay. Yeah. Cormac, that's awesome. Way to get this shit done, baby. Way to get it done. Is this a good one? Let's see. I don't know what this. Boom. I love it. Parker, I appreciate it. I try to make it a little fun. I try not to be some boring, droning on person that takes forever to get to my points and just bores you to shit. Okay. I think I have time to get Hurricane, baby. I think we have time to get there. Okay. I like this video, my ending video now. I'm going to keep going with it. Okay. Everyone, no more questions. Even if you pop up and say you passed, I'm not going to answer. Everyone, have a great weekend. You know I will. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys in 1 week. 1 week minus an hour, minus 90 minutes. And everyone, you're going to nail it. You guys are going to nail this test when you get it. Okay, everyone? Yo, have a good night.
Where are you headed, cowboy?
Nowhere special.
Nowhere special. I always wanted to go there.
Come on.